Hard with choral director Mrs. Stewart, choreographer Mike Scanelli, director Joyce Levinson, technical director Evan Ing, stage manager Steve Hogan, and costumes by Mrs. Lurch and Mrs. Palmer. This year, the cast has been entered into a statewide competition judged by the Paper Mill Playhouse. Performances are April 25th, 26th, and 27th, so mark your calendars.
Hi, I'm Mary Carlton, and I'm here at one of the early rehearsals for this year's spring musical, My One and Only, directed by Mrs. Levinson, choreographed by Michael Scanelli, with musical direction by Miss Van Sickle and Mrs. Stewart. I'm here with Mrs. Levinson, director of the spring musical. Mrs. Levinson, tell me, how did this year's spring musical get picked?
Well, it kind of came about in an odd way. There was a committee of students who were looking for plays. That was their job. And they came up with a list of about 12 or 15, and some of them we just couldn't do because we don't have either the fly space or the facility or the operatic voices. And we were looking for some kind of a vehicle where we could continue our tap, because for the last couple of years we've had outstanding tap shows, which is very unusual for a high school. So I literally called up Tams Whitmark and talked to a couple of people in their research departments and in their ordering departments, and they gave me a list of about 5 more to take a look at. And then they came up with this one, and we thought, not too many high schools do this. It hasn't been done for a while, so we might draw from an audience that is not just the usual moms and dads and grandmas, grandpas, and best friends. And we also noted that there were a lot of parts in here. So that's how we wound up with My One and Only.
And also I hear that you entered this year's musical in a competition in New Jersey, and why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we had heard about the contest last year, and it was a little, we weren't quite sure, and it was getting late. And this year, lo and behold, on my desk in the fall, there was an application. So I waited until we found out what show we were going to do. Excuse me. And then when we figured out what show we were going to do and we knew what cast we were going to have, Michael Scanelli and I kind of got really excited, and we said, we can do this, we can do this. So I went to Mr. Galbraith, our principal, and I said, do you think it's okay if we enter? And he said, well, what's going on? And I explained to him about the contest and the ramifications, because there were a couple of financial implications, and of course it changes the tenor of the show a little bit, because now not just the audience is at stake. We're entering a contest. It's like going into state championships, just thrust right in there. So we are entered into a statewide contest sponsored by the Paper Mill Playhouse, and there are a number of schools. Competition's very stiff. We will be judged on everything from the appearance of our lobby through the opening of the show, whether we start on time, and we will be judged on our music and our acting and our singing and our dancing and our sets and our costumes and just everything about the show. So it's a really, really exciting time for us.
I'm here with Michael Scanelli, the choreographer of My One and Only. Mike, tell me, how long have you been doing shows with MHS?
This actually is my 5th year here at Morristown High School.
Okay, and do you enjoy doing the tap shows? Has it been successful so far?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. No, I really do. Yes, it's been very, very successful. I don't think you find much tapping in high school productions as much, especially in Morris County. So I think it's real different when we put on a big show with a lot of tapping in it. The audience seems to like it, and it's something different.
Do you plan to stay with us for much longer?
Oh, the question. Can I plead the 5th on that? No, I'm sure as long as I'm still around here, I'll be choreographing the shows here at Morristown. If they'll have me back, I guess they will. They keep asking me back, so I guess I'll be back.
Well, we look forward to future shows with you.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
For Primetime MHS, this is Mary Carlton saying, time to go dance.